Hello, hello, hello. My name is Kelly, and I'm coming to you on behalf of Collective Recovery. And in this video series, we are talking all about relationships, which is something I absolutely love to talk about. Um, Relationships are one of those things that really, especially in recovery, we need relationships, right? We definitely need healthy relationships. Relationships can really help us thrive in recovery. But here's the thing with relationships is they can also be a source of pain. They can also be a source of frustration. They can be unhealthy if we do not understand what a healthy relationship is. And so in this video series, we're just talking a little bit about what a healthy relationship not only looks like, but also what an unhealthy relationship looks like, and some things that you can do to start to establish a healthy relationship, right? Now, when I'm talking about relationships for the purposes of this video series, we're mostly talking about romantic relationships in recovery. And this is super important because if you don't have a healthy relationship, if you get into a romantic relationship and it ends up being toxic or addictive, such as author and psychologist Terry Gorski suggests, it can actually be something that's very detrimental to your recovery process and can really trip you up long term. Now, I know a lot of people, especially in early recovery, if you get into a relationship, it can be one of those things where if you haven't done a lot of that inner work on yourself, you haven't really established your own healthy boundaries or understand your own personal healthy boundaries, then you can find yourself in a toxic or addictive relationship. Now, one of the persons that I absolutely love is Terrence T. Gorski, or Terry Gorski. He wrote this book called Addictive Relationships Why Love Goes Wrong in Recovery. And this is a very short read. But I'm sharing this because this is something that was absolutely life-changing for me when I got sober and when I learned what a healthy relationship looked like, right? So what I want to talk about today, before I get into how to establish a healthy relationship, is I really just want to talk about what are the characteristics of an unhealthy relationship or an addictive relationship, such as Gorski suggests, right? In his book, he actually goes through 8 different characteristics of addictive relationships. I'm not going to go through all of those. What I want to do, though, is I want to point out a couple of things that are, I guess, a couple characteristics of an unhealthy relationship or a toxic relationship. So the first one would be getting into a relationship with blame shifting. And this can be on either side. This is just where, individually in a partnership, someone is not taking responsibility or accountability for their own personal actions. This could be where we just, something happens in the relationship, and instead of taking responsibility, there is, the tendency to want to blame the other person, right? And again, this can happen on both sides. It's not just one person in the relationship. Another thing to really watch out for is guilt tripping, that where someone makes you feel guilty for maybe having family and friends, having an outside life outside of the relationship, maybe even a little bit of manipulation, it could be a little threatening, saying something like, if you really loved me, then you would do X, Y, and Z, or maybe even, trying to isolate you from your friends and family, right? That is something to look out for. Abuse in any form is also obviously indicative of a very toxic and unhealthy relationship. Abuse can come in many forms. It could be a mental, emotional, verbal, physical abuse. There's a lot of different information out there on what abuse looks like. Also, in this case, if you feel like you're being abused, definitely seek the support of someone that is licensed, right? A licensed therapist that can really help you identify if this is happening for you and help you navigate through how to maybe get out of a situation like that. Do not do it by yourself. That is not something that is healthy to try to navigate without seeking support from a licensed professional. Something else to look out for is controlling behavior, controlling where you go, controlling maybe your finances. Those those are also signs of an unhealthy or toxic relationship, right? Lack of respect, intimidation, or even invasion of your privacy. There's a lot to be said about how unhealthy relationships manifest and the characteristics of those. If you feel like you are in a toxic or an unhealthy relationship, this is where we would suggest to definitely talk to a licensed therapist. The licensed therapists can give you clarity. They can help you navigate successfully through something like this, where if you do find yourself in a situation that is emotionally, verbally, physically abusive, again, don't try to navigate that by yourself. Definitely seek support from someone that is licensed in that. So in the next video, we are going to talk a little bit more about what a healthy relationship looks like, some of the characteristics of a healthy relationship. And then in the following videos, we'll be talking a little bit more deeply about how to go about establishing a healthy relationship. So definitely want to join us, and we will see you in the next video. Oh, if you or a loved one is struggling with addiction or substance abuse, please give us a call at 1-866-UTAH-HOPE. We are here to help. We can see if you qualify for benefits. So we are happy to do what's called a free benefits review. Give us a call.